Hello there, what is the best audience size for Facebook ads? Now the answer could be the difference between your ads working or not working. We're gonna demonstrate on these audience members. They're not bubbles, they're audience members. Let's jump in right now. So very first off, I want to say that with every single campaign, especially the bigger ones, I'm testing at least 6 different audiences, often with matching ads, so you can really see how one compares in performance to another. And then I'm taking like the 1 or 2 best performers and I'm keeping them and then testing other various audiences. So the audiences I'm testing, some may be 100,000 people, others may be 230 million people. So even with the testing, it is testing a variety of different audience sizes. For one of the campaigns we're doing, the top performing audience is the entire country, 230 million people. How on earth is that possible? How could showing it to the entire country be performing better than all the ones based off different interests and demographics and things like that? Well, first we really have to understand how that whole Facebook bidding and algorithm thing works. So this represents 230 million people. So to show an ad to every single one of these people would be ridiculously expensive. It would be like Super Bowl ad expensive. But here's the thing, Facebook is looking through all these people, trying to find a good fit, someone who is likely to buy at the right price. Because Facebook, you're really bidding to get in front of people. So you have this consumer right over here, and they buy a lot off of Facebook. So you'll pay, there's a lot of people that want to get in front of this person, you'll pay a lot more for that person. So that person could be the best possible person though, because they buy so much and they buy your type of product, so it's totally worth spending extra money to get in front of them. Or if they buy a lot but it's not your type of product, they could be a terrible person to get in front of. And then this person here, let's say they basically never buy anything online. So you still pay to get in front of them, you pay a lot less, but if they never ever buy anything online, it's gonna be a complete waste of your money. So when they have this large audience like this, Facebook is kind of looking through people and being like, hey, this person right here, they tend to buy a lot of your product and the cost to get in front of them is pretty good. And the same is true for people right here and this person here. So it's going through, and then as it's getting purchases and sales, it's learning a lot more about, okay, who that I show it to is tending to buy. Let me get even better at picking the right people to show it to that are actually going to buy. Now here's the thing, when you make a really small audience, sometimes what you're doing is you're saying, okay, Facebook, find me people for purchases, but here's how big of an audience you have to work with. So with a wider audience, Facebook really has their pick, and they have so much data on what people have bought and their click behavior, purchase behavior, all the things like that. Here you're showing it to every single person in this group, and pretty quickly you can go through that entire audience and then you'll just be showing it to the same audience over and over and over, which can really hurt your performance. And also if it's so small and you just show it to everyone, even if it performs well, you've shown it to that audience, how do you scale and actually make it bigger? Because the people we had here, you know, if your circle is right here, you'll show it to everyone in your audience, including the person that's really expensive but doesn't tend to buy your product, including the person that never ever buys, so you're paying money to get in front of everyone, which tends to not have quite as good performance. The benefit of having these larger audiences and also using lookalikes is it's much easier to scale your ad campaigns. If you have all these really tiny audiences that are like 5,000 people or 1,000 people, you just have these little pools and like this one performed well, this one didn't perform, but how do you expand it out from there? I mean, lookalikes can help with that, absolutely, but thinking of some broader audiences is incredibly important.
So an audience size of 1 million is actually not quite as significant as you may think. So the cost to get in front of people may vary a little bit, but it'll probably be around $10,000 to get in front of every single person. But you don't actually want to get in every single person in an audience because it kind of filters through and tries to find the best people first. So I usually don't like when it's made at 60, 70, 80, 90% through every single person in an audience. And if you're trying to scale your ad campaign to 6 figures or even 7 figures, you really need some huge audiences so you can have your pick and find the very, very best people. So it's really rare for me to do an ad campaign without an audience size over 1 million. I'm not telling you to show your ads to the entire country. What I am telling you is I'm having great performance with testing different things and having at least 1 or 2 audiences that are very, very broad as you can go. So if your customers are women over 50, showing it to all women over 50. As soon as you can start implementing lookalikes, I highly recommend having those in your audiences as well. So if you're not familiar with lookalikes, it can take people who actually make purchases and try to find people that are similar to them. So it can be looking through the 1% of people that are the most similar up to 1 to 10% or 10% lookalike. And I've found that 1% overall tends to perform best. It really depends on the test, but also 10% can do well too. And the reason that a 10% can do better than a 1% is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a wider pool of people that Facebook can look through to find the right person. So usually I'm testing at least 2, 3, 4 different lookalikes and seeing what's performing really, really well in those lookalike audiences. So what if your budget is $500 or $1,000? Well, first off, it's actually a lot harder to be profitable if you have a much smaller campaign because you can't do the same number of tests and it can't really optimize as well for finding the right people who are the most likely to make purchases. If you're doing a small campaign, I highly recommend seeing if you can target people who are already familiar with you and your brand. So people who have visited your website or people who have liked your Facebook page or your Instagram page or engaged with your page in some way, preferably in the last 30 to 60 days, those people are going to be a lot more likely to buy than people who have just never ever heard of you. Also, if you have a list of customers, lookalikes can be very, very powerful and perform really well. And with that smaller audience size, you're going to be able to do a whole lot less tests, so maybe only 2 or 3, but I would have at least 1 slightly larger one in there